Thank you. So welcome to this panel discussion on policy issues and digital platforms. And so today we have four very ideal panelists for this topic, but we're not actually going to let them talk about their pet topics. Okay, instead, we're just going to be asking them questions. Okay, and those questions are going to some maybe come from the floor, but what I've done is I've invited some policymakers who are in the audience here. I'm not going to reveal who they are yet, but they're going to ask some questions. And of course, if you have comments and perspectives, you can put them in the chat. If you have specific questions that are on topic, you could put them in the chat and raise your hand. And if they're suitable, I can try and bring them into the discussion. Hopefully we have time at the end to have some more general discussion from the floor. So let me just start by just introducing our four panelists briefly. This is what Greg Crawford had prepared, so let me read it out. Yeah, starting with Professor Luis Cabral, Pagnali Bull Professor of Economics and International Business and Chair of Department of Economics at NYU Stern. Has published extensively on competitive dynamics with papers analyzing learning network effects and innovation and their implications for dynamic platforms. And he frequently applies these ideas in policy environments, for example, recently co-authoring an influential study of European Commission's then newly announced Digital Markets Act regulations for digital platforms. I'm going through the four panelists alphabetically. So next is Professor Jacques Cremer, J.J. Lafont Professor of Economics at Toulouse School of Economics, a fellow of the Econometric Society and member of its council. He's director of Digital Center since 2015. He's published widely across the spectrum of industrial economics and organizational theory and contract theory, including in particular the economics of the internet and the software industries. And he's co-author of the 2019 report commissioned by DG Comp on competition policy for the digital era. Next, we have Professor Emilia Fletcher, Professor of Competition Policy at Norwich Business School, former Chief Economist of the OFT, and now an academic with wide-ranging policy interests, including non-executive director at CMA and member of DG Comp's Economic Advisory Group on Competition Policy. Was a member of the 2019 UK Digital Competition Panel and co-author of the report Unlocking Digital Competition that has laid the groundwork for the UK's incipient Digital Markets Unit, the UK's bespoke regulator for the largest digital platforms. And finally, we have Professor Jinji Jin, Professor of Economics at the University of Maryland, College Park, also advanced professor of the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences at the university. She's written extensively on the economics of information and social networks. Jinji has both policy and industry experience, the former as former director of FTC's Bureau of Economics, and the latter as Amazon scholar and principal economist. So as you can see, we have four fantastic panelists who have a wealth of experience, both on the competition policy side, and I suspect also dealing with firms. And I'll ask them when they each first answer a question to say briefly, any conflicts of